Thanks, everybody, for taking the time out today to join us for Trainers Tool School. And Jan and I are excited because we're going to share a few ways that we can utilize that social media to create effective training tools for our associates. So since we only have a short time to spend with you today, we've streamlined our content to platforms that we have seen used effectively. So if we didn't do that, we'd be here for a really long time. So as trainers, this fast-paced multifamily industry, we need that latest information for our new hires and our current employees alike. Whether it's your own policies or other media types or sharing those ready-made materials, we're going to show you ways to help you do that today. So let's get started with some introductions, and I'll turn it over to Jana for a minute.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. You know what? Type into chat if this is your first episode of Let's Talk Training that you've ever joined. If you have not been with us previously, we'd love to see some of the new people that are joining us. Oh, Candace, okay. Yay. Wow, we have a lot of new people joining. I can't read all those names that fast on chat, but welcome everybody, Deborah and Sherry and Carrie and Lindsay, and they're scrolling up. We're excited to have all of you new people joining us today, and you will get some links later on in the episode to go back and watch past episodes that we have done and also be able to register for future episodes. So we welcome you all and excited to have so many new people on our call today. I'm the Director of Learning here at Graceville. I have been here a little over 5 years. Previous to that, I worked for a large residential management company, and I was the Vice President of Learning and Development there. So I've walked in your shoes. I understand your struggles, your challenges, and we know that social media is kind of taking over right now, and training is changing. It's shifting to the micro learning and social learning. And so it's pretty tough for us to stay up to speed with all of this, but we just have to because it is the way of the world. So I'm happy to have you all here with us. And I'm also happy to have Pam Roberts here with me, who is our social guru for the company. And she just knows everything and anything about all of these cool social sites that we're going to share with you today. Pam, you want to tell them a little bit about your background?
I sure do. Jana gives me way too much credit. I just know enough to be dangerous and hopefully to be helpful in training, but we will see how it goes today. But yes, my name is Pam Roberts, and I've been in the training industry for just about 30 years now. Before I was lucky enough to join Graceville, I was with a large multifamily company in Indianapolis, Indiana, and served as the director of training there for several years. So glad to be over here. And speaking of Graceville, I'm going to brag on Graceville just a little bit here for a few minutes, as you can see. So we have on Graceville some wonderful things. We are the leading education provider, as you can see there. We have apartment industry-specific training, which is why a lot of people in our industry have heard of us. And we also have the Vision Learning Management System, so our LMS, which has the ability to track associate training assignments, including email alerts, which are my favorite things, for missed courses, and allows your companies to add their own training to the Graceville courses. So right alongside our information could be your company's information. So if that sounds like something that is of interest to you or your company, we have a link that is provided for you so that you can see more information. Now, I mentioned that we had links throughout the presentation, which is very nice because, as you can see, we're going to do some housekeeping for those of you that are here for the first time. So you see a lot of things going on that you may not have seen before. One of the things is that you can maximize that slide view. So if you hover over the top left of those slides, you will see a little icon that you can click on, and that is really nice because if it becomes too big, it will let you minimize it right back to where it was. But those of you that may need to see those better can do that. If you have not yet entered an audio pin, there is a little more button up on that top ribbon with 3 dots. And if you click on that, it will give you that pin information. We'd love for you to enter that so that we know that you were here today and that we can say hi to you if we need to here in a few minutes. We also have, I have to tell you, I was looking at the bonus material. Jana has done yet another awesome job putting together that bonus material that you will have available at the end, and it has all those links that I told you that you will be able to click on throughout the presentation. Our producer extraordinaire, Joanna Naslin, is watching the chat pane, making sure if you do have any questions that she will get to you. She's also recording this episode, so we will have that available on our Graceville website, and you also will get a link to that since you registered for this call today. We, again, you all are participating very, very well in chat, so that is over on the left. If you have not participated before, you just type right in there, and we can see everything that you are trying to tell us so that we can keep the show going as promised. And one of those things is to keep it interactive and to do some polls. And Joanna's going to put up the first poll. Now remember, we don't know who's voting for what, so keep that in mind as we're doing these polls. All right, so the first poll is, are you currently using Facebook? Woo, they're already voting. So yes, it's open all day. Yes, I visit Facebook once or twice a day. Yes, but only to keep up with family or friends. Those of you that have teenage sons and daughters, I understand that. Or no, it does not interest me. Wow, look at the numbers. Once or twice a day seems to be the big winner there, Jana.
Yep, I agree, Pam.
Yeah, well, that is good. So we know where we are with Facebook. So let's go ahead and put up our second poll. We're actually going to have 3 here real quick today. Are you currently using LinkedIn? Yes, every day, every hour. Yes, once or twice a day. Yes, but I don't visit often. Or no, it does not interest me. All right. So, looks like 24% on currently using. Lots of numbers there all day long. Some of you do have a little bit of a problem. We'll address that as we go through. So let's put on that third poll. Are you currently using Pinterest? Yes, hourly. I have a friend. She will admit that. Yes, once or twice a day. Yes, but only to see what others pin. Or no, it does not Pinterest me. I need some laughs on that. So we have, wow, it looks like more of you are using Pinterest than even I thought, so that's pretty neat. And some of you do have a slight problem using Pinterest, which I can certainly understand. We were talking earlier, if you do have addictive personalities, that is a good feature for Pinterest. So since we're talking about Pinterest, that is where we are going to start a little bit, so you will see that. But first, this is our teaser. I love this. I put a lot of thought into picking a gift that requires you to pick your own gift. So if you stay with us to the end of our webinar today, you have the ability to win, if you notice that change there for those of you that are our regulars, a $50 Let's Talk Training gift card. $50 for staying in. Woo-hoo! And yep, Carrie noticed right away that we boosted that amount. So let's get started. Hang on until the end. See if everybody's excited about some possible shopping here at the end of the day. And we'll get started with that first slide.
Hey, Pam, I'm going to interrupt real fast because everybody wanted to see those poll results, and for some reason it wasn't showing for their results. So I'm going to run back through these real quick. And can you see the percentage results there? Or did it wipe it out?
Nope, it erased.
Is it 0?
Yep, it went to 0.
Okay, well, then we won't do that. No sense in revoting. I just thought maybe it would be able to show those, but it doesn't. And next time we will make sure and show those results in percentage form for you. Sorry.
That's it, yeah, because they
Yep.
were good. So we do have, again, just to kind of reemphasize, we had a few people that do have some issues with getting on social media. We understand it. We are on it all the time. But you have a lot of people that haven't used some of these, probably as much as you can, and especially with us taking a look at how we can utilize these really fun websites for training. So that is what we're going to do today. So you'll see here an interest in Pinterest. We actually have this link that will go to a really helpful video that will let you know a little bit more about Pinterest and how to use that. But basically, it is a site that is wonderful and, again, addictive for personalities. But it will let you choose articles that you like. It could be video, it could be media, informational bulletins, infographics, which is something that I really love. All of that is on Pinterest. And once you start following things and pinning things, that's where the name comes from, on boards and start making your boards, then you have the ability to gather information and share it with your team and associates. So that's how we're going to tie it in a little bit to show you how this can be something you can utilize for your associates and your employees, especially new hires, getting that information out to everybody very quickly. So we're going to take it to the next screen here. And this links to the Atlanta Apartment Association pin board. We've got a picture of it here for you just so you can see a little bit of a tease there. And since Graceville is based in Augusta, we have highlighted the Atlanta Apartment Association because they are one of our favorites. But you will see that there's little articles, videos, infographics that they have pinned. So since that's coming from such a wonderful resource, we know who's pinning that information. Those resources can become your resources. So if you like something on the Atlanta Apartment Association pin board, you can pin it, and then it shows on your pin board, and then anybody that comes to your pin board can also see what you've pinned. So it's a wonderful way to gather that information, an easy way to share the information, and if nothing else, it becomes a repository for you so that you have information for everybody you need it for. So to take it one step further, another pin board as an example would be the National Apartment Association. So if you attended NAA, type in chat because we saw a few of you at NAA, and it was so wonderful to put faces with names. I know Jana was excited. We were hearing people that watched Let's Talk Training. So we loved NAA. If you didn't get a chance to visit, next year it's in San Francisco, so make those travel plans. But this is their Pinterest page. So they have information here, and actually National Apartment Association has more than one pin board. So once you start doing your search in here, and again, the nice thing is if you've never used Pinterest, not only will that video help you, but the guides that we have put together for you at the end of the presentation will give you some how-tos and some tips and tricks with Pinterest. So if you want to get started pinning, getting the information from these websites and others, then you can start doing that as soon as you get that information at the end of the call. All right, so we're going to take a look at the next platform that we want to go over, and Jana, I will throw that over to you.
Okay, thank you, Pam. I'm sure nobody knows what Facebook is. That's a new word, I'm sure, for most of you. But, Facebook is underutilized. A lot of people call it family book now, and, it's just a way to keep in touch with your family. But it really does have so many benefits for us as trainers and in the business environment. So we're going to talk about that. Traditional use of socializing is really what Facebook was created for. But the training use, creating groups, is a fabulous way to really share information, ideas, ideas, documents, links, and to keep a private group, so to speak, together when you do this. Who is not part of our Let's Talk Training Facebook group? Type into chat. If you are not part of our Let's Talk Training Facebook group, type into chat. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing a lot that are not. That link in the blue Facebook, join our group, you should click on that right now and open it up, and you can minimize it, save it for later, or you can join right now. If Facebook is open, it will take you straight to that page and we can approve you automatically. If your Facebook is not open on your computer, it'll take you obviously to your logon screen, but then immediately take you to this. We strongly encourage you to join this, not simply for the Let's Talk Training group, but just so you can see how the groups work and it can benefit you in the future. It's a private group. We have to approve people to join. So imagine on your end, if you have leasing professionals in a private Facebook group, they can all share documents, share PDF files, links. They can ask questions to each other, answer. I mean, you can even do kind of a polling type of thing on there, but it's a private group. And sometimes we all know that people are more comfortable asking somebody at their same level than they are asking, a supervisor or something like that. So it's a huge benefit. Again, this links you back to what we were just talking about, but this is an example screenshot of what we have in our Let's Talk Training Facebook group. This is where we actually asked everybody to join our episode today, and they can click on that. The link took them straight to the registration. I wish I would have done a couple more of these, but anytime I get a white paper or Pam gets a white paper or a link or some type of beneficial information, we post it in here and share it with you. So we take away a lot of the legwork for you. We all get flooded with emails on training related issues, and we go through them and we kind of pick out the ones we think are worthy of sharing that would benefit you. So it's kind of your one-stop shop to go back and look at anything that we have posted there. And so we're going to quickly go through the three benefits, so to speak, of the Facebook grouping. It allows you that personal interaction, the power of communication, as you can see on this slide here. Communication is key in any company. The more you can communicate, the more comfortable your associates feel, and more than likely they will progress and be happier associates. We know that there's power in social media. So Facebook Direct Connect, I mean, it's immediate. Pam and I were talking on the phone earlier, and I said, do you see this post I just sent? And she said, yes, I like it. And I mean, within 2 seconds of her liking it, I saw it on my screen. So the power of social media is taking over, and we need to embrace it and learn how to maximize the benefits of social media for our learning and development purposes. And then the last of the three is the technology ease. Now, we all know that technology is not always easy, but sometimes it does help us. What would we do without it? Sure, there's hiccups here and there all the time, but what would we do without it? So the technology ease in using Facebook or social media sites to quickly distribute information to our associates that they have been born with. I mean, the majority of our new leasing and maintenance technicians, you all know, they were born with a cell phone in their hand. So, the power of technology is really critical for us to embrace, understand, and utilize for our training, learning, and development efforts. Okay, so before Pam gets into the next of the big three, we call the big three, Pinterest and Facebook and LinkedIn, I want to ask you a question in chat. You just saw 3 slides. that were very similar. One was social media, one was communication, one was the power of technology. And they all had little arrows pointing down to the bottom. There were two words that were repetitive in each of those three slides. I want to know if anybody knows one or two words that were repetitive, oh, Tanya, you got with the first one, relationship, yes. And success, okay. Monica got success, you're right. Good job, everyone. I didn't think that would be that fast. Okay. So Tanya and Monica, thank you. It was, yes, you're right, relationship and success. And doesn't that really speak volumes to what we're trying to do with social media? Success is what we all want for the company. We want it for our associates, and we want it for ourselves personally, without a doubt. So success being one of the most commonly used words in all of that, and then you combine that with relationship, it pretty much says it all. Social media helps us develop those relationships with all of those individuals that we don't get a chance to spend time with in person. So success and relationship, you remember those two words, and maybe it will make you think twice about using social media, or actually make you use social media and think twice about not using it, should I say. All right, Pam, I am going to pass it to you.
Thank you, Jana. And I think I was laughing here, and Steve does this to me every time. He said the word "the" was on all three screens, just so you know. But anyway, we have LinkedIn, and obviously the traditional use is professional networking. The training use, though, is following influencers and channels, and a couple of things that I'm going to fill you in on here as we go. So finding information, as we've been talking about, is very important. But on LinkedIn, you can actually subscribe or follow influencers and channels on what is called Pulse. And those links there on the page will take you to the things that I'm talking about, LinkedIn Pulse and LinkedIn Groups, and they're also available in our handouts. So you will have that information for you. But what this does is it allows you to actually scale down the things that you were looking for and, again, get those types of valuable resources that you need for your team or your training team. So we're going to take a look at the next screen. And Jana was kind enough to put the red arrow when you do go. Those of you that have registered, if not, very easy. LinkedIn is very easy to register, just like all the other websites out there, and it is free. And, of course, there's paid versions, depending on how much you want to network out there. But the interest tab is something that you may have only used for trying to find companies or specific people, but that interest tab actually has Pulse as one of the drop-downs. So if you select Pulse, you will get a screen similar to the one that you're seeing in the picture display. What this does, and I get so excited when I talk about it, because this brings up stories. So you'll see that the story there in the picture says, "I love my job," or "Happy employees, better workers." If that is something that I really like and enjoy, obviously I can like and share it just like you would on the other social media sites. But what you can do different on LinkedIn is I can actually follow anything that is published by that same author. So if she's repetitive in the types of stories that she shows, it'll show up in your LinkedIn feed, and then you can get that information, grab it. You can put it on your Pinterest board or in your LinkedIn group, or keep it for yourself for another training class, so you can see how this all networks and goes into a 360 just by utilizing the resources that we can get our hands on. The other thing in LinkedIn Pulse that I really, really enjoy is the fact that you can follow influencers. We're all influenced by different people every day, so we're all going to have our favorites. On the top right portion, right next to where it says, "I love my job," you'll see a little window there. It says, "Follow more influencers." So when you get to the screen, you'll have that same ability. And we're going to take a look at the next screen here so that you can see what that looks like when you go to the screen. It will give you a list of influencers, and obviously Richard Branson is a very popular one, but they will start listing, and if you want to follow that particular influencer, for articles and media that they may post, then you can go ahead and put that green check mark there and follow them. And you can see that red arrow is pointing to David Cameron on our picture. So if I wanted to add him as an influencer, all I'd have to do is go ahead and mark that check or the plus sign, and it'll turn into a green sign. So what that does is puts all that information into your LinkedIn feed. Again, instant access to items that may be able to be utilized for your associates in training. So lots of information there. And I'm not done yet, Jana. We have one more screen that I want to talk about, and that is joining groups on LinkedIn. Now, it's not the same as you work in Facebook, technically. You can follow groups and you can join groups just like you normally would, but the difference is the type of information. Again, LinkedIn is known for business. Facebook, fun and social. LinkedIn, more business related. So as you can see right there under the manager group settings in the picture here, you can see that I have actually followed Indiana Apartment Association. Since I'm from Indiana, that's something that I like to follow as a group. And the nice thing about that is if I follow them, then I get their important legislative updates, some event updates, and then I can pass or disseminate that information once I get it from my LinkedIn feed. So easy information. And plus, if you follow a group and you become a group member, they also join in discussions. And I can't tell you the amount of resources that you may get from the discussions, especially in this changing industry. When we have things that are going on all the time, we need to be the first to know about those things in our roles as trainers, and that will get you the information that you need. So hopefully we gave you enough information in short segments, and again, we have some more information on our handouts if you want to play along with some of the information we're showing you today. So with that, Jana, we're going to go to that next screen. I know you wanted to do something fun here.
I do, and I need Miss Joanna in the background. We want to run a couple more polls real quick. We got two more here. Okay, and I need honesty on these polls. How much time, and we're talking about each day, so on a daily basis, do you estimate that you spend on social media for business use only? I want to know just how much time you spend. Weed out all of those family posts and friends, and how much time do you think you spend on business use only? Less than an hour, ain't nobody got time for that. 1 to 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, all day long. I have a slight problem. I'm addicted. Okay, let's, what were those votes? Let me roll back down here. Okay, so it looks like we ended up with about 39% saying, no, actually 63% saying that it was less than an hour, ain't nobody got time for that. So that's our biggest winner, and next was 1 to 2 hours. So let's put up the next poll, Joanna. Okay, now I want to know, and you have to be honest, we have no idea who you are, your name. I promise it will not be emailed to your supervisor. How much time do you spend on personal use for social media? Less than an hour a day? Ain't nobody got time for that. We're still at our 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, all day long. I have a problem. I want honesty, please. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like, for those of you who couldn't see the results, it looks like we are at 35% saying less than an hour, ain't nobody got time for that, and 24% saying 1 to 2 hours. So it looks like more people, based on the votes here, spend time on social media for business purposes. I'm not sure I'd completely believe you all, but I'm going to trust that your votes were accurate. So let's move on. We got more cool tools right now, and we are going to quickly run through these. How are we doing on time, Joanna? Okay, we're doing okay. So we're going to quickly run through some of these cool tools. I'm sure you've never heard of Twitter, right? Nobody ever. How many tweeters do we have out there? Type into chat. Are you a tweeter? I'm not a tweeter. I'm curious. Okay. Um, Twitter is very, very cool and very popular, and it's funny. You either talk to people and they either tweet or they don't tweet. There's no in between. You're a tweeter or you're not a tweeter. And so there's no in between. But I have to tell you that I was amazed when Pam sent me this information that it was the #1 training tool for 2014, I think, Pam, 14 or 15. But and that just amazed me because I don't tweet enough, but it makes sense. It's known for, connecting and surprising, people with a link, information. It's quick, short, easy, and you got all of those hashtags out there. And I always, kind of joked about when I'd see hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag this. And, sure enough, it makes sense now when you start to get involved in Twitter. You can see why all of those hashtags make sense. And it's just a really quick, easy way to give somebody a source and take them to an input of interest. So those of you who are not tweeters like me, let's make a pact and start tweeting. Okay, so YouTube. We all know YouTube. We know that micro learning is the way of the future. People want short video chunks that to break down all of their learning that we have typically done in the past, either on long e-learning courses or, a instructor-led course. So YouTube has tons of videos out there, some good, some bad. The problem with YouTube is it takes a while for you to search through it and find the good, find the bad. So why not make your own and create your own YouTube channel? That is the perfect way to go. You can decide what length of time you want all of those videos to be. And if you find some that you feel, are beneficial for your group or for your team, then you can certainly bring those over. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on YouTube because I know you all know this, but I do have to know, again, one more chat real quick. Has anybody created a YouTube video that has gone viral? And I don't mean viral like, the huge ones that have 18 million likes, but something that you were like, oh my goodness, I created this video and it went a little more viral than I expected.
Yeah.
Okay, Tanya, for your family. Oh, Sherry, 2,000 viewers. Okay, what'd you do, Sherry, for 2,000 viewers? You can type it into chat. We're all curious now.
No, I've got to see what gets 2,000 views.
Yeah.
PG rated.
Right.
Oh, student housing, 7,500 views. Wonderful. How do you create a YouTube video? That's a good question, Patty. So we have some information in our handouts. So that's good.
Okay, so Sherry, I'm sorry, Pam, your 2,000 viewers was a short video about a blood parrotfish? Yeah?
Orange guy.
Orange guy. Okay, awesome. 4,600 viewers. Okay, Tammy Hall, I have to ask you, what'd you do for 4,600 viewers?
People love fish. I love that. The real elf.
The real elf. Oh, like as opposed to the elf on the shelf?
I know, I'm with Claire. It'd be interesting to share some of those links.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, share your links if you're willing to. You'll get some more viewers, I can promise you, of everybody on this phone right now. Thank you all for sharing that. I think it's just crazy, but think back, to push it back towards training. Think back about, the real elf or the fish and how quickly those people started viewing those videos. If you made a great short video on, today's closing techniques or closing techniques for the millennials, because we know everything's changing. You made it short, sweet, and good. It could go viral too in our multifamily housing industry and be sent out there. So keep thinking about ways to use YouTube to make, we're relationships, and success. That's what we told you earlier. All right, Pam, take us on.
Okay. So another cool new tools is, and some of these aren't new, but they might be new to you, but Powtoon, we actually learned about that at a webinar last year, and I loved it because those of you that like animations and like to make animations that talk or sing or have fun, use those in your training program, a little out of the ordinary, out of the box type things, but you don't know programming, that would be me. This will help you to create those very easily, and obviously it has free versions and versions that might cost a little bit of money, but check it out and look at it and see if it's something that you can use to make things a little bit more fun and festive, especially if you have an event that has a theme. I know a lot of you do that, so it's a wonderful place to get that avatar or a theme representative created quickly, easily, cheaply, fast. Wunderlist, I cannot say enough nice things about, and professionally, that you can utilize as an app on your mobile device, and it also goes across computers as well. So anywhere you get on, you will have the same information. So once you sign up, it will let you create organized lists. Now, I know a lot of you put together training programs. Jan and I were talking about this earlier, too. We wished we would have had something like this back in the day before we had those big typewriters and stuff. But we can create lists. And let's say you're putting together a training program and you have things to get together for your meeting. So you have candy, and candy's first. Notice how I put that in priority. Candy, your flip charts, your markers, your any equipment that you need to bring, you could start making a list. And the nice thing about this program is that you can share it with those that you want to be on the list. So if I put candy on the list and Jana goes out and she's happened to be shopping and she picks up some candy, she can mark that off the list. I know it's marked off my list, so that is done. So it's really good for shared projects, and really the uses can be limitless. But the nice thing is that you can pick and choose who you share those lists to. So they're also great for grocery lists. So those of you that like to shop, perfect, especially if you have multiple people shopping all the time and you find a bargain, you can go ahead and mark it off that list, and your other half or better half will know about it before they go to the store, right? Because they always go to the store. All right, so next, we were teasing you about Robo. Now, Robo is one of near and dear to my heart. It is just like we were talking about snippets of training. We all like short snippets of training. So if you're trying to learn any of these apps that you've seen here today, or anything as complicated as Word or Excel, this place is marvelous. Now, it has free access. It also has membership, and it also has business. So we've linked this to the business site, that you can get to the personal side of it very quickly from the link. But what it does is anything you need instructions is, everything is probably a minute to 4 minutes long, and it segments the training. So if you're learning how to use Word, it will tell you how to open a document, then how to type on the document, then how to save the document. So very basic information. And the nice thing is with all these platforms coming available, if you've never heard of something, they typically have, and they already have instruction on it. So anything from social media to anything, again, real complicated like those programs in Microsoft. So check it out, and it's a really good resource. We hope you enjoy it. WikiHow, one of our favorites. This is one of Jana's favorites. This is something that you can utilize, go in and find out how to do pretty much anything that you can think of. A lot of people think of YouTube in this fashion, but WikiHow actually gives you words as well as informational media platforms. So if you're wanting to know how to build a fence, this is going to tell you exactly what you need, and probably several ways for how to build a fence, and it's going to be included in there for you. And again, all platforms. So if there's things that you want to save, then you can do that in WikiHow and share it on all those wonderful platforms we've talked about today. So you have that instant content that we all need. All right, Jana, you want to take it away for the next two?
I would love to. Oops, sorry. Okay. Pocket. I can't tell a lie. Pam introduced me to Pocket, and it is now one of my favorites. So Pocket allows you, you get a lot of emails, text, and you get links to white papers, light papers, they call them everything now, and, just information that sometimes we just leave in our inbox. We don't have time to read it, or we put it in a folder and then we forget about it. Guilty as charged. This is just what it says. It's like putting it in your pocket. So if you can imagine, you have a pocket, you have things that you want to look at, read, and deal with at a later point in time, you put them in your pocket. And the best thing about it is it doesn't need Wi-Fi. Once you put it in your pocket, you can view all of these things without having wireless connection. So great way to spend some time on an airplane, or when you're sitting out by a pool and you don't have Wi-Fi. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself and not working, but it's a awesome tool that you can use to just put everything in your pocket and review it at a later point in time. So I thought that was awesome. And again, that is a link. If you hover over that, you can click on that and download that and find out much more information about it. And then we have WordPress. WordPress is probably the most commonly used blogging tool out there. And it started way back in 2003 and has really evolved into much more than simply a blogging tool. It is a great way for you to share information. And Pam had told me earlier, she was like, it's good for mentors. And I said, why, Pam? I said, why do you think it's good for mentors? And she said, because it's a great way for a mentor and a mentee to connect, share information, because now it's so much more than blogging. They allow you to share, links and pictures and, any kind of documents that you want to share can be, transferred back and forth with WordPress. And I have to tell you this astounding number that in 2005, 23% of all people that had some type of website were using WordPress as their blogging tool. And you may think 23% sounds low, but if you can imagine all of the people, think about those one, person websites that everybody tries to start, and so you weed out all of that. 23% using WordPress is actually a very high number for everybody that uses a website. So that is the number one blogging type of website, or type of app that we have to recommend to you. So click on the link and we hope you get great experience with it. Pam, did I miss anything on that?
No, I think you covered everything. Very
Okay. Well done. All right. So we are going to move on to Pam.
All right. Well, Snap Guide is a fun one. So it kind of falls along the lines of the YouTube that we were talking about earlier and the WikiHow, but this one is a little bit more creative because there's thousands and thousands of pre-made how-to pictures and videos with instructions that are already done. So again, if you want to build a fence, you'll be able to find instructions on building a fence. So it will segment those, so you can actually take a picture of putting your first board up, and then another picture with your hammer, and then another picture with your hammer and your nail. Away. If that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. Once you make them, which, again, totally easy to do, you can create your own. So you can either borrow what is on there or start making your own Snap Guide. Now, we've had lots of interesting things. Obviously, there's a lot of things you can do maintenance-related, which we like to tie into because you'll see a little bit about maintenance later. But just think if you took a leasing presentation, and you could either do like short snippets of video or short pictures along the way to do the perfect leasing presentation for your company. You make it, you produce it, you put it out there, it's done. Pinterest board it, Facebook group it, whatever you need to do to have that instant material. And obviously, if you have a hyperlink, those of you that use Vision, you have external content that you will have available, and you can put that right into your Vision system and have people track it and watch those completions. So lots of things you can do with Snap Guide. Evernote is kind of like a trainer's whiteboard. This is another one of those addictive item. So once you start using it, you can't put it down. So it is something that what you do is, like, let's say that you're taking notes. And you can do this on your mobile device or your computer, same account. You register, it's free. You can do more services with a paid subscription. But let's say that you have a Word document. And you love the Word document, but you need to write on it a little bit and point to some things, which you can do in Evernote because it's like a whiteboard. And then you want a picture to put with it because you want to keep all that stuff together so that you have all that information in one folder. But then once I get all those notes together, then I want to share them with Jana. So I can just zip them over to her, and she can open them on her Evernote. So it's, again, another way to share that information, have all that information there, have your own whiteboard, and again, it's limitless. You can put Excel files in there, you can put photos in there, you can put videos in there. All of your lists can go in there. So think of it that way. Play around a little bit about it, find out more about Evernote. It might be really good for those of you that are putting together training programs for your team, and we hope that you enjoy looking at those. But we're not done yet, are we, Jana?
No, we are not, but we are close. So hang in there with us. We are almost done. Okay, we're going to move on. Type into chat. I'm going to keep speaking, but type into chat if you've ever used or seen a Prezi presentation. I'd be curious. Okay, for those of you who have said no, I encourage you to click on this link and download it and utilize it. And Prezi is pretty much PowerPoint on crack. So to be honest, you basically make your initial screen and you can have different areas that you want to zoom in on, and you can basically just watch the video. You zoom in on one area, then you can zoom in on another area. It's something different, and it's really getting more and more popular as they have improved the ease of use and the functionality of the system. It's more intriguing than a PowerPoint click, slide, which you've seen us do today. It's a little bit more interactive and has a little bit more of the animation and engaging things. So I strongly encourage you to look at that. I think it could work well for some training purposes. I think it could also not work well for some training purposes. It could not be good for anything financial or accounting. That just would not be the platform to use. You would want to go back to PowerPoint or Excel or something like that. But once you take a look at it, I think you all will be able to determine what it makes sense for, because you are smart trainers out there. Google Translate, I'm sure most of you have used this before in the past. We just wanted to throw it out there in case somebody does not realize how beneficial this is. We are not recommending that you use Google Translate for converting your instructor-led class material or a full document over. But if you need to speak to somebody and they do not speak the language that you speak, Google Translate translates into over 50 languages. So I know in the past, we had trouble with people, Spanish, Creole, French, German. I mean, there's so many different, everybody thinks Spanish is the number one thing, but it's not. There are many other languages out there that our people speak, and you need to be able to translate. And it's a great quick tool. They have an app. They also have something on your computer. So Pam, I think it's time to announce, oh, wait, it's not. But after this, okay, so we've given you all of these, cool tools, so to speak, but we know that all of you out there are cool cats and we want to have a tool chat. So what did we miss? We're running over time, but we will share anything you type into chat. So just keep typing into chat any cool tools that you love as our cool cat trainers out there, and we will share this with everybody on the resources. If you have something that you just are busting at the seams to share with everybody. Now, since we increased our Amazon gift card to $50. I think Pam is going to tell us who the winner is on that. Pam?
I am. Drum roll, everybody. Our winner is $50 on the line, John Curtis Paz. And I know he's there. He's been typing.
John, I see him.
Yay!
Oh, wow. Awesome. Yay. Congratulations, John.
And thank you, Joanna, for getting that for us. She's always
Yes.
working.
Yes. Thank you, Joanna. And congratulations, John. You will get an email by the end of the day today from Amazon, and then I will forward or follow up, should I say, with an email personally to make sure that it didn't go to your spam. So make sure that you get this, but you will get an online $50 Amazon gift card. Congratulations, John. Okay, I skipped a slide here I want to tell you about. Actually I skipped two here. September is Maintenance Appreciation Month for us. We have declared this nationwide across the board. And how many of you participate in Maintenance Appreciation Month? Type into chat and I'll keep talking. It is going to be September of this year. We did it September of last year, and we do all kinds of crazy fun stuff. We recognize those maintenance associates that, really sometimes don't get the recognition that they deserve. So we decided that September would be a month to make sure that we recognize them. And we do this by several different ways. Our Rockstar nomination is just closed. We had over right about 400 people nominated for our Maintenance Rock Stars, and we have to narrow that down very hardly to 22 people that are going to win the Maintenance Rock Star, and they would get a gift. But we also give you all kinds of tips on how to appreciate your maintenance teams. We give you a downloadable toolkit that you can print posters on. You can look at, so many different things on there. But what I want to speak to you real quick about is our next episode of Let's Talk Training. We have decided to open this up to not just trainers, but to maintenance associates as well. So we have a guest star joining Pam and I, which is Chad Mullen. He was one of our very first rock stars that was recognized the first year that we started this program, and he has since went on to open his own business, which is Prop Ops Training, and has been very successful with it. So he still works for a residential company. Widener, is that right, Pam?
I think so.
Yeah. But he runs this business on the side and does speaking events. He does training. You can log on to his website, but we would love to have you join us for this. We would also love to have you invite all of your maintenance associates to join us for this one. This one's going to be a little bit different than our past Let's Talk Training. So you can click on the arrow, the Maintenance Rockstar link, or the bottom actually takes you to look at future episodes if you want to register for anything else. So we please encourage you all to register for that episode. And this brings us to the end of today's Let's Talk Training. Pam and I are going to stick around for any questions and answers that you may have, or we'll stick around for questions. We hope we may have the answers. And both of the links at the bottom, the PDF is all of those great resources that Pam was talking about earlier. You can click on that, give it a minute. It's a big document. It will download. And if you have not yet joined our Facebook group for Let's Talk Training, please click on that, and we'll accept you. And you can find out all kinds of good information in our Facebook group. We want to thank you for joining us today, and hope you found today's episode to be beneficial and you got some great information from it. Pam?
Thank you, everybody. It was great to see all of you, and thanks for participating in the polls and chat. You guys are awesome.